I got a call from, well, there's no other way to put it, but the local wizard. Her name was uh, Miley, and she was, I don't know, not old, not young, kind of middle-aged, I guess. And she had a number of different magic. She she ran a shop where she sold some magical stuff, but that was really not her main line of work. She just kind of did that enough to get some income here and there. Mostly she did mysterious wizardy things that I didn't quite understand. But she also made good pies. And that's why she knew Ollie. Because Ollie also makes good pies. So they'd met at a pie making competition. Anyway, so Miley knew exactly who to call when her magic mirror was stolen. Said, Ollie, you've got to help me. My magic mirror. Someone's taken it. She had a flair for the dramatic. I said, "Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. What the magic mirror? What does it do?" I said, "Oh, it's wonderful. Uh, it's sentient. It has its own personality, and it can tell you all sorts of things that you can't tell yourself. For one thing, it can show you anywhere you'd like to see in the whole world. And then it also knows the absolutes of anything. Like if you want to know what the tallest mountain is, or what the ugliest cat is, or whatever, anything that's the most whatever it is, you can ask the mirror about it and it'll tell you and show you. It's a very specific and very strange incantation, I'll admit, but it's not one I cast myself. I bought the mirror. Well, I bartered for the mirror many years ago when I was in Rhodesia from a wizard there. And it's not my prized possession, but I'm quite fond of it. And now it's gone. I came in this morning and it's gone. To the uninitiated, to someone that doesn't know how to activate it, it just looks like a mirror. So it's said to be somebody that knew what they were taking, because there are many other things in the room that look more expensive than that. But that's what they took. I said, "Oh my. Do you have any rival magic users here in the area?" She said, "No rivals. I have some friends. Although I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm definitely the highest level magical user in the area." I said, "Huh. Well, who would know about the mirror and think they had what it took to use it?" "Oh, well, the mirror itself does not require my level of skill. You need to know a little bit of what you're doing, but it's not that hard to use. You wouldn't have to be top-notch. You could be a beginner and use the mirror just fine." I said, "All right, so it wouldn't have to be an expert. It could just be some random person that knew a little bit of magic, or wanted to even. Had done a few things here and there and levitated a pencil. Doesn't take much more than that. The magic is in the mirror, so it's not like you have to cast the magic. You just have to know how to activate it." I said, "And how do you activate it?" "Well, not quite the four corners, but imagine a spot." Okay, so the mirror is, I guess 3 feet wide and 4 feet tall, roughly. And imagine a spot about 4 inches in from each corner. You tap them, 1, 2, 3, 4, it doesn't matter what order. And then you say magic mirror, and then you say whatever it is that you want to know about. That's all. You need to be able to focus well enough. But it doesn't take anything more than that. I said, all right, all right. Well, let's see. So what happened last night? So I have to assume so. I was here yesterday until, I don't know, 6:45 or so. I was doing some stuff in the back room, but when I left, the mirror was there. And there were no, I didn't see any signs of a forced entry. I said, I'll take a look at the locks. Ollie went around to the locks in the front and in the back. There were 2 ways in. There was also a roof door, but that was well bolted from this side. So I did look in the front, and he didn't really see anything that looked like anybody messed with the lock. But in the back, there was kind of a glittery slime on it. Ollie was somewhat surprised that she hadn't noticed it, but he brought her out and said, just glittery slime here. Do you see it? Oh, I do now. I hadn't noticed it before. Oh, that explains that then. I said, what do you mean? Unless I'm mistaken, that's magical lockpicking gel. If you can get your hands on it, it's hard to get your hands on it, but if you have some, all I need you to do is squirt a little bit on a screwdriver. Well, squirt a little bit into the lock, and then put a screwdriver into the lock, and the gel pretends it's a key, and the lock turns. Well, I must admit, I have a little bit, but it's not something I sell because you can just do too much damage with it. You can break into any lock, practically. I said, yeah, I guess that makes sense. So we've got somebody that has access to some magic stuff, and not just from you. I said, yeah, I guess so. Then Ollie went around and he looked out in the back, and he noticed a camera, kind of up high. You wouldn't necessarily notice it at night, but during the day, Ollie noticed it. I said, hold on a minute. You just wait here. I gotta check out a hunch. So he went around to the other side of that building, and it was a bank. I thought we may be in luck. Well, he didn't say that. He thought that. She had stayed at the store. He went and he asked to speak to the bank manager, and the bank manager came out and said, yes, sir, how can I help you? And I said, there's been a break-in in a store that faces the back of her store, faces onto the back of your bank. And I was wondering if we would be able to review your security footage to see if if the cameras saw anything. The camera said, oh my goodness, not Miley. Is it her store? I said, yeah, you know her? I said, oh, certainly. Well, she banks here, but she's also a friend. I'm sorry that she's been broken into. Yes, of course. Yeah, come on back. And so the bank manager showed Ollie to an office, sort of a nondescript office there in the back, and called up the security cameras on his computer. He said, here it is. Yeah, it's going to be, yes, this one, camera 3. And, yeah, press the arrow keys if you want to go fast forward or slow down. Press the space bar to pause or to play. And if you get stuck, let me know. I'll be around. So Ollie found how to turn the speed up on the camera, on the playback, so he could watch it at about triple speed. I didn't want to be there all night, obviously. And he also sent a text message to Miley saying, hey, I'm reviewing some security cam footage from the bank. I'll be a little bit. And he watched and he watched and he watched and he watched, and it was so nice because it was actually in color, which is unusual. And saw nothing much, and then a truck pulled in. Well, not a truck, more like a van. Pulled backwards into the alley, back up to the back of Miley's store. And it was kind of a muted orange van. And I thought, oh, I don't see that color very often. Couldn't quite make out the license plate. But he could take out some other details of the car. It was a Ford. It was an older Ford. Not quite an antique, but definitely from the 80s. Maybe that is an antique now, I guess. Anyway. And he couldn't really see what the person was doing, but it was late at night. It was like 3 in the morning. And they definitely went into the back at one point because they could see the things sort of bouncing around. So then I started, well, and then the car drove away, and there was nothing else. So that's got to be my mirror thief. So he asked around some of the car people that he knew, some, truck enthusiasts. If anybody knew about a muted orange 90s pickup truck. Well, not a pickup truck, but a van on a pickup truck chassis. The first people didn't know anything about it, but the third person said, "Oh yeah, it belongs to that art gallery downtown. They use it to pick stuff up and drop stuff off." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Don't test me." Yeah, McCall's. Yeah, I know that truck. I've helped load stuff into it. Yeah, for sure. That's McCall's. I said, "Oh, okay. That's great." So we went straight down to McCall's. It was a nice gallery. Well, not a huge gallery. It was like a row house. And except that the second floor was sort of cut out. Instead of the second floor, there's a balcony with another set of paintings up there. But it was open in the middle to the main floor. It was a nice setup. It was cute. And when he came in, this guy came up and said, hello, my name is Maxwell. I'm the owner here at McCall's. Are you just looking, or are you shopping for a piece?" I said, "I'm mostly just looking right now, although, I'm always open to making an acquisition if something really catches my eye." I said, excellent. That's what I like to hear. That's the way to do it. Well, if I can be of assistance in any way, let me know. Is there anything that is kind of your style? I said, no, I'm kind of Catholic in my interests. By which I mean I'm interested in all sorts of things. I'm not like specific to Catholic iconography. Like, oh no, I get you. Yes, me too. You'll find that a lot of stuff we have right now is figurative, although I do have a few non-figurative pieces. There's some contemporary artists here and a few historical artists. So, look around. Let me know if you have any questions. I don't know everything about every piece, but I know a lot about most of them. I looked around. It was a nice collection. It was a good selection of stuff. And at a good range of prices. There was stuff as low as $200, and there was stuff as high as $10,000. I was looking around for something that stood out, something that was out of place. There were only a few. Gotta stop that. There were only a few modern art, non-figurative type pieces. And all of them were fairly simple. So I thought, well, if I was going to fake it, if I was going to paint over a mirror to hide it, simple would be the way to go. But it seems risky to hang it up on the walls. What if someone bought it? I looked around, and then he realized what he must be looking for. Then the one caught Ollie's eye, not because it was nice, in fact, because it was kind of lame. Ollie knows a little bit about art. He's not an art expert. But this one, the composition was bad. It was slapdash. It didn't look like it had been done carefully. With real proper modern art, it might look like something you could do yourself sometimes. But when you really look at it, you start to see the craftsmanship, the artistry in it. But as hard as Ollie could stare, he couldn't see the artistry in this. It just looked like somebody had slapped some paint on there. That they'd put on a base coat and then slapped some random lines on there. There was no interestingness to the brushstroke. There wasn't anything there for Ollie. So he decided to take a risk. You're not allowed to touch the art. Ollie waited until no one was looking, or so he thought. He reached up and very quickly and very quietly tapped the four corners of the mirror, or of the painting, and said, magic mirror, as quietly as he could. He was trying to be subtle. But the painting had another idea. It said, what do you want to know? And every head turned. The owner came rushing up. Excuse me, sir. You are not allowed to touch the art. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Well, I said, magic mirror, show me the person who stole you from Miley. And at that, the paint shook off like when a dog shakes off water. It fell to the floor in a heap. And what everyone saw was the owner, was the guy, that same guy standing right there. And he said, ha ha ha, very funny, yes. I'm standing in front of a mirror. That's all very funny. But as I said, no touching. You have to leave. You're lucky I don't charge you for ruining the piece. I don't know how you made it shake off the paint, but it's ruined. It's ruined. And I said, no, I'm afraid you're ruined. And he did it again. He tapped the four corners and said, magic mirror, show me the place that you're supposed to hang. And all of a sudden the mirror changed, and instead of being a mirror, it was Miley's shop. And then I said, magic mirror, show me the most embarrassed person in the room. And then once again, it was not a reflection this time, it was just a full headshot of the owner. Like I said, you can't prove anything. I said, oh, I think I can. The guy tried to run. And I ran after him, grabbed him by the wrist, pulled him down. Didn't hurt him, but pulled him down. Of course, the people in the gallery were aghast. They'd come to look at a perfectly civilized art gallery, and here there was a fight in the middle of the floor. But he looked at the person that seemed least shocked and said, ma'am, would you call the police, please? There's been a theft. That mirror doesn't belong here. And this guy stole it. And I need you to call the police. It's an emergency. It's a 911 call. And so she did, and Ollie held the guy down. And the police arrived, and at first they grabbed Ollie because they thought that he was assaulting the owner of the art gallery. But the other people quickly explained. And so they let Ollie go. They demanded some proof, and so Ollie had the mirror show them a few things. He tapped the four corners and said, magic mirror, show me Officer Jensen's backyard. And all of a sudden, the backyard of the officer who was talking to Ollie appeared in the mirror. He said, oh, man. Yeah, that's not normal. Ollie also had, while sitting on the gallery owner, texted Miley. She'd gotten a couple of her friends to come with a van. And said, we'd like to take the mirror right now, please. As you can see, it's a very strange, unusual item, requires special care. We'll participate fully in whatever investigation, but I need to take it back to keep it safe. So, yeah, you take that thing with you. That's real weird. I don't know about this magic stuff. As we're leaving, Miley said, Ollie, it looks like you need to stay here for a little bit, but come by the shop later? Well, I said, I would love to. And that was Ollie and the case of the missing mirror.